by way of introduction, I run an AI company, Nexus Cognitive. I'm sure we're all here. I've had a lot of conversations around DeepSeek, and so I'll leave it open for Q&A. But just a little background on myself. Um, I've been in the AI world a long time, data world a long time. My first boss was actually the big Bitcoin maxi now, Michael Saylor. Yeah, kind of fun and interesting. Worked there many years ago when we were starting the whole idea of AI, and we didn't even have crypto then, but angel on your chest. And then from there, with the dot bomb, went from there to Arthur Anderson, to Bearing Point, and like to think that I was the Black Widow of companies, touching all three of them, and it felt like I killed them all off there. Again. And not the good Black Widow, not the Natasha Romanoff, but the really bad one. But it ended up going over to IBM and being the first leader of something called Watson. You guys know what Watson is? The first AI computer that came out. It beat Jeopardy. And I think one of the things that we learned when we did that was data is really brutal. And so we're here in this AI world, but what we learned was data is brutal. It's really hard to make work. And as we went through that, we found that most of our clients around the globe wanted to have analytics, but they couldn't get there. And so that was the whole reason why we started Nexus, was to make it really easy to get your data outcomes to AI. And we talk to our clients all over the world. We tell them in 5 hours, we get your data platform up and running. 5 days, you get your first outcome. And within 5 weeks, you have enterprise AI up and running. And our big belief is the world is going to be open source. That's what we started building on. I don't know how many of you guys follow Pomp on X. And a few people. He had a tweet that came out right before this event this week that basically said the leaders in this AI race will be those who are open source. And we had a nice tweet back to him and said, that's what we've been doing for the last 4 years. We've been fully open source. We've been driving it forward. But we're here, open up to any questions on AI, data, DeepSeek.
What's your TLDR and
Yeah, so the question was the TLDR on DeepSeek. Look, I think the big outcome there was speed and innovation is going to beat regulation every time, every day. Look, most companies that we deal with don't realize that if you're dealing with the Palantirs, the open AIs of the world, you don't own your data anymore. You lease it to them. They take it over and they own it. And so we have a very big belief that open source will win. And look, there are tons of models. There's, DeepSeek was interesting for the first open source reasoning model, but Meta has a lot out there, which is also fantastic. So we're just a big believer that companies, enterprises, individuals are going to want data freedom versus having their data hostage. So that's our big belief. And this space is going to continue. Like 45 days from now, there'll be another model. That's going to commoditize. It's going to be the infrastructure layer, and it's going to be the app layer that really matters.
What models do you use?
We use them all. So our clients are using everything from Hugging Face to Olama. Our big belief, though, is your data stays in your network. We don't want your data out of your network, running around and letting others take information from it.
About the NVIDIA sell-off, because I read about Jevons paradox that is resonating a lot, and I think the ecosystem will grow. Probably they'll sacrifice a little bit of margin, but the revenues will be exponentially higher because more people will start getting all those hardware. And eventually the hardware situation will evolve to a software situation regarding a lot of services, like not only services, but healthcare. What's your view on the hardware part of the equation regarding AI?
Great questions, guys. The question was, what's the view on hardware as it relates to AI? Look, hardware is always the first part of a boom cycle.
Yeah.
That's where we're at with NVIDIA. Software will catch up. We're going to get a lot better in tokenization and compressing. I'm a big believer that this space is going to take over a lot more. We're going to see a lot more AI agents and agentic systems, and matrix math is going to be really important to do that. So the type of compute will change.
What do you see enterprise software sales companies, and specifically in the sales operation, using AI for prospecting and running their sales teams?
Look, I believe for enterprise software companies, they're going to have a big problem in the medium to long term. Right? AI is going to change the way they look at their businesses. the idea of the RM, CRM, HRM, like all the what I would call data exhaust, where all these business functions were built, are all going to get automated away. It's all going to go straight to your data mesh, and your agentic agents are going to drive that. So a lot of change to come, but it takes enterprises a bit of time to get there. This is a big change in terms of ripping out silos as well in this company.
Your company comes in and like those clients or businesses that are trying to convert and use AI, you can come in and help them.
We do both, right? So we first help them get their data set up to actually have the promise of AI, and then it's actually been enabling these agentic systems.
How do you see the AI decentralized open source industry going to go during bear markets? Because we know like the market moves according to the crypto market, and we know there's cycles and whatnot. So of course AI is going to be relevant because that's what is driving the technology growth globally. But how do you see the industry itself? You think it will just keep staying relevant? Of course, we're going to see that the market is going to have some impact, or what are your thoughts on that?
So I'm less of a trader. I'm a secular guy. So I think the trend is going to continue to go. I think, look, when we built our company, the TAM for data AI for software is about $100 billion globally. The TAM for the services market, where folks are employing rate per hour, both, is multi-trillion. What's happening is that TAM of consultants and SI is what's in all the individual advisors. It's what's going to be taken away by the software. So I totally believe the TAM gets a lot larger around automation. Are we going to see drawdowns? Absolutely.
What's one industry that you think is ripe for disruption by AI that people aren't really thinking about?
Oh, that's a great. The question is, what industry is ripe for disruption by AI? I think they all are. I think it's really how do you use the competitive advantage, frankly. Look, I'm working with the top 150 banks right now, and we run credit risk data. I mean, they're shit scared what goes on and decentralization and crypto and what new products look like. So we're working with global airlines to figure out, how they drive customer intimacy. So I think those who adopt early are going to have the use cases to win their markets first.
How do you help companies understand what they can do with AI and educate them just overall about AI?
That's probably the hardest part. I think AI is like sex in high school, right? Everyone talks about it, but no one knows what the hell it is, frankly. And so a lot of it's education. A lot of folks think AI is just reporting and getting some basic insights versus truly automating a job function and seeing the outcome. So we're spending a lot of time on educating. This comes back to our core thesis that most of the organizations we work with need their data right first before they can even think about AI. And we think that's the big hurdle. We're in the hype cycle right now, but the big hurdle is getting your data right first. They even start seeing the advantages of what automation and workflow synchronization looks like in an organization.
Ensuring your data so you can sort of consume it when it happens.
Yeah, so the question was like, does it mean structuring your data?
Yeah.
But structuring it, it's getting data quality, it's getting data governance, it's getting it in a way to use it easily. And most companies have their data in, it's anarchy, right? You have SaaS apps, multiple RM apps, it's all over the place.
Right.
And so what we try to do is automate all that for you.
In terms of the crypto market, do you have any kind of like favorite types of like the AI launch pads or the AI agents, anything that you're kind of bullish upon right now? That you like any kingmaker trades?
I don't look, I see all the crypto AI guys right now. I think it's really early.
Really, yeah.
Still, so I think it's fairly speculative. For us, we're an organization that's focusing on large enterprise. So I think there's a lot of guys shilling coins and rug pulling, and
Yeah.
I was just on the Solana networks. It's like I think half the new meme points that came out were all AI related
Yeah.
somehow.
Right.
So I can't make sense of the noise there.
Right.
I'm looking for the folks who have real use case
Yeah.
and real outcome.
And do you see any that do, or not really?
I haven't seen it yet. I would imagine there's probably some in the DEX trading.
Yeah.
On the AI algorithms, but I've yet to see them actually go and monetize it. Yes. Yes.
I was discussing earlier that AI agents are proliferating, and AI agent ventures opportunities are proliferating at an exponential stage. What's your recommendation in me as a family office member to review all those opportunities about new AI agents coming to our desk to review them?
So I think the market for AI agents is a lot like internet companies right now. The real opportunity is not the AI agents themselves, it's how you can orchestrate it. So think about having a bunch of new digital workers without a management layer. So the real winners are going to be those who create the management layers for these AI workers that are out there. Otherwise, you're going to have a bunch of rogue AI agents with no outcome. And I think for all of us who run companies, you want some sort of governance, you want some way to control these agents. We're not going to let them run wild. And so those who don't understand that are going to be in trouble. So I look at what Nexus is doing, what CML4 AI is doing. There's a host of companies that understand that you're going to have to orchestrate and govern all of these agents. That's the next boom that we see.
It's the probability that one of these AI agents is able to break, a blockchain either through a 51% attack or somehow, I don't know, figure out, and then maybe in combination with AI agents, like fully attack and take apart a chain.
So I think for any of the big chains, probably unlikely today, just for the amount of compute it needs. So to me, it's all a factor of compute and energy of compute. Now,
I wasn't thinking about like Bitcoin, but thinking like the 500, the number 500 one, where there are only a handful of validators or whatever it is.
like
Yeah,
very, very likely.
They go into the DAO, they drain the DAO.
Very, very likely.
Yeah.
So very, very likely, right? So encryption is there, but it's probabilistic, right? And so enough compute with enough market demand is that, why do bank robbers go to the banks? That's where the money's at. So
I was thinking, is it sort of a survival of the fittest type of situation where those chains, they're supposed to go out of business, and maybe the AIs, they attack the weak ones, right? I mean, it would,
I hadn't thought about it, but I mean, the reality is the smaller chains that don't have enough validators would be a ripe target. Technically, it's not a hard problem
right.
to go after. It really isn't.
I'm surprised it just hasn't happened.
For someone that knows the industry and the technical stuff about it, what can you say about quantum computing? Is that a real concern? How far are we from that?
My take is you're probably at least 10 years away still from quantum, right? Are we doing things? Absolutely. Can we have it stable? No. When we do have it, is it going to be in the hands of someone who's going to go attack crypto? Probably not. It's going to be in a company like Google, IBM, somewhere else. So I think we're at least 7 to 10 years away from seeing the beginnings of commercial applications. It's a hard problem to solve. It's a very hard. I mean, we can do small qubits now in research, but to actually get to scale, it's still very, very hard.
Buy, sell, or hold.
Buy, sell, or hold NVIDIA. I think you should ask Jeff and Dan that question. It's not me.
I will say I don't invest in a lot of $3 trillion assets because there's a lot of people who know that better than I do. What I will say is that generically, the people who produce AI are less interesting to me at the moment than the people who use AI. So data centers and chip makers, that to me, short term at least, is likely to be where you get hit the hardest when there's a lot more supply and cheaper production. The consumer, which is most of the world of AI, is where you want to invest right now because things are just about to get cheaper and more accessible. So do what you want with NVIDIA, but I'm not going to buy it. I didn't actually hear your answer, Dan, though.
I don't know.
But your personal opinion.
No, I either know or I don't know.
Bullet take on what there was.
Sorry, I don't think there's a bullish take on it. I don't think I heard a bullish take on a video.
If you hold it long enough, it's probably fine. You know, at a 10-year view or something.
I,
Deep sea. What about deep sea?
does it change the game, or is it hype? There's this whole sort of rumor that they're using tons of NVIDIA chips in the background, sort of bit of a show and tell kind of thing. But
So the
what's your thought there?
question was, does DeepSeek show and tell? Does it change the game? Guys, it doesn't change the game. We've been seeing innovation happen quickly in the space. And again, these are models, right? The models is not where the value accretion is going to be here. The value accretion is in your first party data, thinking you're going to create an interesting asset, and or taking that and applying it to an ad, right? So a lot of our clients, for example, will use multiple models with it. DeepSeek, Llama, Olama, Hugging Face, whatever it may be, to run their use cases. So I don't think the LLMs and the models is a place to be super excited about, frankly.
So it commoditizes over
It's
time.
going to be a super commodity. There's going to be thousands of them tied to different data sets, and every enterprise will take their own model and customize to their own needs.
Which you only have to do kind of once.
It's a continuous thing.
Okay.
So a model. So the question was, do you just take a model once? No, you would take a model, and you continuously retune it. So if you're not tuning it every week, every day, you're in trouble.
And that continues to need compute power,
Continues to compute
GPUs.
power, new data, used to follow interactions. Yeah.
Makes sense.
So the company, they need to invest in their own department who would like keep tuning it, right? For that case.
That would be one of the new jobs that are being created. Yes. Over
Do
here.
you see anything happening in real estate? It's such a massive industry. As far as transformation, going from the old to the new.
Yeah, guys, the question was on real estate. Do we see anything old to new? I've been so wrong on this. I thought real estate was going to tokenize a lot earlier. It still hasn't. So I don't know. Dan, do you have a view on real estate?
No.
Tokenization, I don't. I'm like,
Oh, tokenization, yeah, I think it'll happen, but it's been very slow. I mean, we thought it happened started like 5 years ago. I think all things of value are going to be tokenized. I think that's, increasingly a theme. But it's still very early. Yeah, I think it's sort of inevitable.
one more question. Yeah.
Explain your business and what you're doing. Like you're talking about the enterprise. For some people who aren't as familiar with AI, they may not understand what you're talking about, like me.
Yeah. So our business there's two components.
Yep.
The first component is we have a fully managed data platform business where we bring all of your data and we onboard it and have it ready for data analytics, business intelligence, reporting, applications in the business. But our claim to fame is we do that in days and weeks, not months and years. So you're not spending hundreds of millions of dollars to get there.
And what level, when you say your data, is this something that would be open to like a smaller user, like for like $100,000 to create an agent for themselves or something? Or are you talking about just large scale banks or what do you,
My clients go across the gamut,
Okay.
all the way to the top 150 banks in the U.S. today.
Okay, great.
So we go end to end.
Wonderful. Thank you.
In terms of you saying, all these jobs are going to go away and things like that, for people who have children who are up and coming, where do you recommend they take their education?
I think about this a lot. I literally think about this with my son a lot. And I don't have a good answer yet. I think they're coworkers. I don't think they're replacements. But I think a lot of the jobs that are out there are actually pretty hideous jobs to want to do. They're mind numbing. Copy, paste Excel files. I mean, a lot of that stuff should get automated, frankly, and go to higher order. I have a different view of the world where I think humanities comes in stronger. I've been talking about this for 6-7 years now. I think there are other people who are more doomsday on AI. I'm not a doomsdayist. I think it's great for culture and humanity. But I'm excited to see what the next 3 to 5 years holds.